Okay, so for the supplies, we will need two different kinds of yarn. This first one is size 6 super bulky in like a beige color. You can choose any brand that you want, but I'm using the Loops and Threads Sweet Snuggles Light. This is just any pink yarn that you have because I want to use it for the blush. We also need some polyester stuffing, a 14mm safety eyes, scissors, darning needle, and a 6.5mm crochet hook. Okay, so the first step is to make a magic circle with this beige color. Okay, if you need more help on the magic circle, like if you need something easier to follow or like an alternative, then you could just click on this video up here because I have a separate video for that. But I will still demonstrate it here. So first, hold your yarn like this, exactly like this. Your right two fingers will go behind this loop right here and just insert these two fingers like so. Okay, now your left hand will twist forward like this. These two fingers will grab this yarn and will pull until it goes through this loop. Okay, once that's done, you take your left two fingers, you're gonna pinch this section, and now you are left with two different holes, a top and a bottom. You take your crochet hook, you insert into the top hole, then you're going to make a chain 1. Okay, then this circle, you're just gonna switch it, like flip it horizontally like this. And that is how you complete your magic circle. Now, we have to put 8 single crochets inside of this magic circle. So first, you're going to insert your hook through the hole, yarn over, pull it back out. You now have 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through these 2. That is how you make a single crochet. Now you have to make 7 more. Okay, so just repeat. Yarn over, pull it back out. Yarn over, pull through these 2. Okay, so just make sure you have 8 single crochets inside of this magic circle. Once you've made your 8 single crochets, this is how it should look like. If you want to know how to count them, just look for these little V's, okay? And those are the tops of the single crochet, and all you have to do is count them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so you've made 8 single crochets. Now you're just going to take this tail and you're going to pull very carefully because it's going to cinch this hole closed. Okay, make sure that there is no hole there anymore. Once it's fully closed, this is how it should look like. And then I'm going to be slip stitching into the first single crochet that I made. So first, look for the first single crochet that you made, and it's right here. You're going to insert your hook through the V right here, yarn over, pull it through that V, and then pull it through the loop on your hook, like so. That is a slip stitch. Then you're going to chain 1. Alright, so after every row, I always do a slip stitch and a chain 1 before starting the next row. If you're using a stitch marker, you can just completely skip those 2 steps. Okay, now for the next row, we're going to be doing 8 increases. An increase just means 2 single crochets in 1 stitch. Let me demonstrate. So this is the stitch we're going to go into. We're going to make a single crochet like so, then back into the exact same area, not here, but into the same one, another single crochet. Okay, so that's what you're going to do. Per stitch, you have 8 stitches. Per stitch, you're going to do an increase. Okay, and at the end, when you get back here, you should have 16 stitches overall. Okay, this is how it should look like when you're done with the 16. Make sure you count every row because that way then you will be able to follow the pattern properly. Otherwise, you will get confused if you're not constantly counting every row, okay? So make sure you have 16 and then you're going to slip stitch and chain 1. For row number 3, we're going to follow the pattern of 1 single crochet, increase, 1 single crochet, increase, etc. all the way around. Let me show you. First, you're going to make a single crochet. On the next one, you will do an increase. Then on the next one, another single crochet. Next one, increase. Okay? At the end of this row, you should have 24 stitches overall. I'm done my row. Just remember that I always do a slip stitch and a chain 1. For row number 4, we're going to repeat the pattern of 3 single crochets and then an increase. 3 single crochets and then an increase. Okay? 1, 2, 3, and then increase here. At the end of this row, you should have 30 stitches overall. I mean, you could probably tell that we're just starting to make this plushie bigger. So the circle is going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So it's really important for you to be counting so that the circle is even. Okay. Okay, I am done my row. Now we are heading into row number 5. For row number 5, we're first going to start with 2 single crochets. Okay, 1, 2. This next one, we'll do an increase. So 1 and then back into the same one. Now we're going to follow the pattern of 4 single crochets, increase, 4 single crochets, increase, all the way until you're here. You will end up with 2 stitches left. Okay, so just continue until you go about right here. Okay, so I just finished my last increase here. As you can see, we have 2 stitches left. I have made 34 stitches all the way around. Now we just have to do a single crochet here. This is 35, and our last single crochet, 36. Okay, so you make sure you have 36 stitches all the way around. Then just do your slip stitch and chain 1. Now for the next row, we will be repeating the pattern of 5 single crochet, increase, 5 single crochet, increase. Okay, all the way around. And you should end up with 42 stitches by the end of the row. I just finished the row. It's starting to get bigger and bigger. Now for the next row, we will start with 3 single crochets first. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Then we will do an increase. Once that's done, you will now be repeating the pattern of 6 single crochets, increase, 6 single crochets, increase. And you should end up right here. Once you're done your last increase, then you will have 3 stitches remaining. Okay, so we'll meet back here. So I just finished my last increase, and as you can see, I have 3 stitches left here. So I'm just going to complete that with 3 single crochets. Now at the end of this row, make sure that you counted that you have 48 stitches all the way around. Okay, it's very important that you have the right stitch count. Okay, now we are on to the last row finally of this circle, and what we're going to do is just 7 single crochets, increase, 7 single crochets, increase. Just keep repeating the 7 single crochets and increase, and once you get to the end, you should have 54 stitches all the way around. Okay, so I finally finished the last row. This is how big it should be. I did my slip stitch and chain 1. Okay, now I'm just going to pull this up a little, remove my hook because we now need to fold this in half. So flip this over like this. So this is the inside. This seam should be on your right, like so. Then you're just going to fold it like a taco, essentially, like this. And make sure that this seam is right at this corner, okay? It shouldn't be like this, or it shouldn't be like this, okay? Make sure it's right at this fold. Align it all properly. So as this is laying flat, I'm going to now determine where I'm placing my safety eyes. What I like to do is just place them, like not secure them yet, just place them and see if they are even. I've placed them on 1, 2, 3, 4, between rows 4 and 5, and about 4 to 5 stitches apart. Okay, I make sure that this center lines up with the center here as well. All right, once you are happy with where you placed your eyes, you can now secure them with the backing. Once they are secure, we are now ready to start closing the dumpling like this. Okay, so take your hook, put it back into here, and then we need to make sure we have 2 chains. So we already made one, we just need to make another one. Now what we're going to do is crochet through both of these, not just here, but we're going to go through all the way to this side so that we can slowly close this section. We're going to make 2 incomplete double crochets. Let me show you. So first you yarn over, you go into the next stitch, which is right here, go through that, and then go through all the way to the other side, like so. Okay, this is connecting both sides now. Then you're going to yarn over, pull it through. Now you have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2. That is your first incomplete double crochet. You have to make another one. So yarn over, go back into the exact same stitch where you just placed the first one. Same one, not the next one, okay? The same one. Go all the way back here again. Yarn over, pull it back through, 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2. You've now completed these 2 incomplete double crochets. Now you're just going to yarn over and pull through all 3 just to group them all together. Okay, then you're going to chain 2, go to the next stitch and make a slip stitch. Okay, slip stitch. Okay, so let me show you really quickly. This is one bump. We're going to be making multiple bumps all throughout while closing this dumpling. Okay, so all you have to do from now on is repeat exactly what we did here all the way until you go right about here, and then we'll meet back. Okay, let me just show you once again what I did. You're going to chain 2, make 2 incomplete double crochets on the next stitch like so. This is 1, then make another incomplete double crochet on the exact same stitch like so, then yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, chain 2, then slip stitch onto the next stitch over. Okay, and that is it. Make sure that you are actually closing this up by going through both of these flaps, otherwise you'll see that it's actually not closing. Okay, as you can see, my hole here is just big enough for me to place some stuffing inside. I'm not putting too much. I don't want it to get too overwhelmed with stuffing. Okay, once you're happy with the amount of stuffing that you've placed in here, you can just continue making these bumps until you get to the end. Okay, so I've completely closed up this dumpling, and all I have to do now is chain 1, put it down, and I'm gonna cut this right here, pull it up so that it creates a knot. Then I'm going to use my darning needle to hide this tail inside of the dumpling. Hide it in here, and then I'll cut the yarn. Okay, now it's time for me to place the blush. You can skip this if you don't want to put blush, or you could even put like a smiley face if that's what you like. Okay, and that is basically the end of the tutorial. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that this dumpling plushie was easy enough to follow. If you do have any questions, requests, or any suggestions, just comment them down below and I'll do my best to help you out. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.